my gosh, guys, I got it. There is no way, that is so unstable. What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. And now for today's video, I'm actually going to be attempting somewhat of a throwback challenge, because for those of you who have been following my channel for quite some time, you may notice that for some weird reason, I just tend to have a hobby of balancing the most random objects on top of one another. And besides that, you may also know that I made a stacking video a lot like this back in 2020, where I stacked 5 golf balls on top of one another. But now that it's almost 4 years later, I am planning to expand upon that type of video to create an entirely new challenge. And so that brings us to today, where I'll be attempting to complete 5 stacks of just random objects in under a certain time limit, which for this video is going to be a total of 3 hours. And as always, there will be a punishment if I don't complete the challenge, so stick around for that. And without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. Alright guys, so here we are at the first stack of the video, and for this one, we're actually going to be once again referencing the 2020 stacking challenge I talked about earlier with a set of golf balls. Now there's 3 in this package and also 1 right off to the side over here. So while this challenge will be stacking only 4 golf balls on top of one another instead of 5, I still overall felt like it would be a good way to kick off this video with a fairly easy shot. And to do so, we also have the 3-hour timer ready right over here. And before we even get it started, I will warn you guys, this timer does get very dark very quickly, so it might not even be visible throughout most of the challenge, but I guess besides that, we're just going to jump straight into the attempts. So I'm aiming for about 20 minutes on this one as well, so I think we're just going to start the timer and find out in 3, 2, 1. Actually, I thought I was going to get it right there. And the timer already went dark once again. What did I tell you guys? Sometime I will have to try to fix that for an upcoming challenge video, I'll be honest. Okay. Guys, I think this is the most stable 3 stack I've had so far. Going for it right here. There we go, guys. Got it. So that was a little bit of sketchy work towards the end, but we got it pretty quick. I think that was only about 10 or 15 minutes, but let's just carefully check the timer here. 2 hours and 52 minutes remaining, as well as 40 seconds. I should round that up to 2 hours and 53 minutes, but got that shot pretty quick. So let's go on to shot number 2. Okay guys, so we've now made it to the second stack of this video, and for this one you will notice that I have changed the camera angle to portrait mode, because for this one I actually am going to need a noticeably taller frame. And that's because for this next challenge, I am planning to stack 15 Jenga blocks on top of one another, like so. And unlike the first one in this challenge, I've never actually scored this shot before, so I don't really know how long it's gonna take, but I guess we'll just have to find out as we go. So, getting set up the 3-hour timer right here, and start that in 3, 2, 1, go. We gotta stack them all the way up, one on top of another, for 15 high. 6 high, already starting to get a little bit shaky here. And nope. This one, I feel like is gonna be a lot harder than the first. That one we only got to the 9th block and was already getting tipsy. And I'll be honest guys, I hate to admit that what I just mentioned there happened to become very true over the course of the next 40 minutes. Because while I was trying to implement a good strategy to counteract the instability of the stacks, I simultaneously began to notice that every single time the blocks themselves fell over, the continuous impact against the tile was causing each block to become very chipped and rounded, and ultimately much harder to stack the longer I did it. And so, all I can really say I came up with for a strategy was to concentrate solely on stacking the top 5 in any way I could, and even though it did cost another few hard falls, I am happy to say that I finally managed all 15 blocks. That right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes! Guys, that right there counts. It might fall at some point because it's so lopsided at the top. That was a fight to the finish. Yes. Right here on these top 3 blocks, you will see how far off the center those are. That right there was a balance game, I'll tell you that for sure. Alright everyone, so this is day number 2, and so far we have successfully managed to make it to the 3rd stack of this challenge. And with just over 2 hours remaining, I am going to be attempting another good throwback trick shot, which this time is actually going to be a simple recreation of this iconic stack right here. And even though this was another stack that I created all the way back during quarantine, I can honestly say that to this day, that stack still remains one of my all-time favorites, so you know I had to add it to this video. And so that's going to do it for this intro, and without further ado, we have the timer ready right over here. So we're going to resume this in 3, 2, 1. Darn it. That's pretty close though. We're still getting pretty close for as fast as we're going. Oh my gosh. Guys, that was literally the next try. There we go. Man, that one, I'm not gonna lie, that one was not as hard as I remember it. That, I feel like that only took something like 5 minutes. Yeah, 206.50 remaining. There you go. Ah, there it is, guys. Happy to say that we got that in only 6 minutes. Let's go. Next shot. Alright, so here we are everyone, now at the 4th stack of this challenge, and with a confidence boost as well, especially after getting that 3rd shot in only a few minutes. But anyways, for this stack, we now have a pile of 40 cards that is soon to be transformed into a 5-story card pyramid. And believe it or not, this is actually the first stack of this video that's a level up of a shot I've done before, as I spent nearly half an hour creating this 4-story card pyramid in late 2021. But even now, I have to admit that I'm hoping that I somehow even get this one in a quicker amount of time, because for the upcoming finale shot of this video, I'm going to need all the time I can get. But before we can even get to that point, we'll need to get going on this one. So once again, here's the timer, and I'll be starting this one in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh my gosh, dang it. It's amazing how frustrating falling cards can be. Yep, extremely frustrating indeed. And not only was I soon to find out the insane amount of time required to stack even the first couple rows of the cards every attempt, but also the extreme level of precision this stack required when compared to the 4-story pyramid. Because when I was only about 10 minutes into attempting this stack, I concluded that for me to have any sort of chance of getting to the top half of the pyramid, I was going to need to implement a much more stable foundation, which really only seemed possible by spreading the cards significantly further apart than I was used to and had done for the original pyramid. And on top of that, at about the 30-minute mark, I added an extra layer to my strategy by establishing a specific order of placing the cards to decrease the overall likelihood of knocking the entire stack over if one part would happen to fall, which to my great surprise actually happened to be very useful. And in the end, what I found really funny about this stack is that this literally happened a total of 6 times from the time I set down the first 2 cards to the final 2 cards on the successful attempt. But I played through all the misses, and despite wasting a painful amount of time on this one, the 5-story card pyramid was finally complete. Oh my gosh, there it is. Guys, I have to speak kind of quietly because I feel like even sound will knock this over. Oh my gosh, that is so much more fragile than you think. Yes. Okay guys, so we have 56 minutes and 51 seconds remaining. I'll go back here to talk, just give me a second. And we're now on to the last shot after that grueling one, my gosh. But yes, we got it. There you go, last shot. See you later for it. Okay everyone, so we have made it to day 3 and it is finally time for the last stack of this challenge. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now, guys. I actually don't know if this last one is possible or not. Because aside from the fact that I've never seen this stack done before, there was actually a good period of time about a year or so ago where I tried to complete this stack myself. And in all honesty, I never really figured out a strategy to do it. So without getting sidetracked any further, basically what I'm going to be trying to do for this stack is to stack these 16 dice into the shape of a diamond that starts out at about 1 wide, goes up to about 4 wide, and then eases back down to 1 wide at the very top. And seeing how that last shot alone took me over an hour to complete, I'm not afraid to say that I don't have a ton of faith in getting this one, but I guess we can't say it's over till it's over, so we are going to use this remaining 56 minutes with everything we got. So we're going to start this in 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh, guys. Guys, I'm only about 5 minutes in, but I literally don't know how to get to even the middle layer of this shot. Oh my gosh. Well, guys, I must say, in addition to my negative outlook on this shot, in the midst of my first few attempts, I could really feel reality beginning to set in. Because while it was refreshing trying a shot I hadn't done in almost a whole year, being reminded of its difficulty level and immense lack of strategy was all it took to launch me back into a world of discouragement. And trust me, I tried everything I could on this shot. From this, to even this. And after seeing nothing work at all for upwards of the first 30 minutes of attempts, I began to lose hope. And as more and more time passed, I could almost feel my first ice bucket challenge on the way. But just when I thought I had succumbed to the impossible, my superior trick shot senses began to kick in, and with literally less than 20 minutes on the clock, I found my first working strategy for this stack. And at last, at just above the 16-minute mark, this happened. Guys, we got this. One more dice. Yes! Oh my gosh, guys, I got it. There is no way. That is so unstable. Yes. Gotta stop the timer. Oh my gosh, guys. 14 minutes and 19 seconds to spare. Let's go. Guys, I gotta say, I literally don't know how this always happens. Because of that shot, the one that I had never scored after trying for almost a year, I am 4 for 4 on challenge videos and still haven't had to do an ice bucket challenge. Let's go.